So for a lot of folks who are new to crypto, the question that might pop up is like, why? Why invent like a new kind of computer? Why build applications in this way using smart contracts versus just on your own server and database? People oftentimes say that Ethereum applications are like normal applications, but slower and more expensive, and they cost money to use and deploy. And so, could you sort of paint the picture of like what are the benefits to developing applications in this way, and what are your responses to folks who are skeptical?
You can kind of look at this from a few different angles. One is the composability that it creates. Everything on the Ethereum blockchain is open, it's publicly verifiable, other people can build on it. An example of where that property really shined is DeFi. Everyone saw how quickly DeFi grew in 2020 and 2021. And the main reason is because of how composable a lot of these applications are and will continue to be. When you open source everything and everything allows for permissionless innovation, the rate of innovation is just so much faster. Like the amount of stuff that have been invented in DeFi in the last couple of years is remarkable compared to how quickly the same thing happened in traditional finance. Like it probably would have taken 1 or 2 decades to do the same thing. So speed of innovation is one. Two is not needing permission to have access to applications, whether it's financial, social. In a country like the US, it's less appreciated, but some other countries do really appreciate that permissionless ability to access any kind of application. The other argument that I really like for why crypto, why Web3 kind of falls in the line of what Chris Dixon talks about, which is the value of being able to own and port your data. All of the data that exists on the Ethereum blockchain is open, and technically you own your data because the only person who has access to your Ethereum account private key is you. We see in Web 2 that when we use Twitter, when we use Facebook, like we don't have access to that data. Like it's completely owned by Facebook and they monetize it and they do all kinds of things that don't align with the users. With Ethereum, because you own the data, you have a lot more power and control over what you can do with that data, what the platform can do with that data. You can move to different platforms, for example, rather than one single Twitter existing. Maybe there's a way that 3 different Twitters exist for different things and they use the same underlying data that's stored on the blockchain. Like that was never possible before, because before all the data was siloed in all these companies. Now we have all the data on this publicly verifiable database. It's called a blockchain, and then all the applications can exist using that same data that you own. I think that's very powerful. I don't think we've seen that play out though. Like most of the applications today in crypto are very much about like how much money can you make? I mean, there are very genuine people in the space building really, really cool things, but on the surface, at least with a lot of NFTs and DeFi, that's what it seems like. I think that will slowly over time become less of a thing, and we'll start to see more and more utility to the average user.